Hello, and welcome back to Fair Life with Andrew McKee. I am Andrew McKee. And hey, Sarit and Harvey and Jan and Kevin and Greg and Kurt. Hey, good to see you. Hopefully, I think I've got most of the technical stuff all going all right now. And yeah, I think it's working pretty well. The video looks pretty good. And yeah, this is new location, Greg. So yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm over in Alabama right now. Just waiting out a few weeks before I head over to Texas or back to Texas for the Sherwood Forest Fair. I'm helping out my parents with some stuff, and yeah, I am awake. Yes, you're thinking of last week, I think, because it is. It was interesting. After the fair, Fair of Champions, that is, what I did was I drove from Texas to Alabama, and I got in around 3 a.m. or so. I thought about staying and just stopping on the road and getting a hotel somewhere, and I was prepared to do it. I really was. But I was wide awake. I mean, about midnight, going through Lafayette and Baton Rouge and then Hammond in Louisiana, I was fine. So I thought, okay, I've got, a few more hours. I can do this. But that last 100 miles, I started to fade, and it was getting rough. I got in around 3 a.m., and that was on last Monday, so I was a bit brain dead. And yeah, I slept in, but I was still not at 100% by far. And when the show was coming around, I was kind of like, I don't think I can do this. It was close, but I thought, yeah, if maybe a good lesson there in the future, it's probably worth it just to stop at the hotel just so I can be awake for the show. While I was awake enough to drive, not really awake enough that next day, and I was not even at 100% on Tuesday either. It took till Wednesday for me to be about where I needed to be. So yeah. Oh, and hey, Tanya and Lisa, Kathy, excellent, Nancy. So hello from the reference desk. Yeah. So yeah, it was one of those travel weeks, and I still don't always get it right. I do my best, but again, I do what I can. But I wanted to make sure I was prepared for this week, so I tested with the colors and the video and everything, and I think we're at a good spot. So yes, I keep trying to tweak and do little things, and right now, I mean, actually, I'm not even using a lot of bandwidth, believe it or not, and the picture should look very good. So I'm very proud. I really think I've come a long way with it. So I'm ready for the year in general, as long as I don't, try to drive on Sunday night through Monday morning. Lesson learned. But hey, it's the little things sometimes. It really is. So yes. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That's good to hear. I've also tweaked some of the latency. So when I see what you type and you hear me, there's a lot less delay than there used to be in previous years. In previous years, there was usually 15 seconds, sometimes more, of a delay. Yeah, it is a little brighter. Yeah, maybe a little too bright. I try that, but Actually, I think some of it is just the background is a little too dark. But yeah, I can tweak that. I'll take a look at it and see how it looks in the stream. What I'm looking on my screen isn't exactly the final stream. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. I don't know. Oh, I'll come up with it. Yeah. Okay. We'll get it figured out. Small things. Little, Oh, well. I try. But no, I'll keep obsessing like I'd always do and see what I can do. Thank you. Yeah, I keep switching them up a little bit depending on the time of year and where I am and that kind of thing. But yeah, I generally prefer the blues and the greens. I think they tend to look pretty good with well, with what I'm wearing in general and everything. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. And generally, I've got a go bag with all of the equipment and everything ready to record, so I can do a live stream pretty easily on the road. So that is the goal. But again, it's all dependent a little bit on what my network is. If my phone doesn't even get good reception, not much I can do. That's sometimes you're stuck with that. But I try to stay in places with a good internet, and I'm staying in the same place I did last year for Sherwood, and I had good internet there. So in general, there were a couple of issues, but in general, I think I have it figured out. So we'll try to make that work. At the very least, I'm using less bandwidth than I did before, so I think it won't be a problem. Because if I recall, I had a couple of issues last year, but generally it was okay, and I think we'll be good. So that's what I'll try for. So another good test year. But for now, I'm good for the next few weeks, and then I'll be heading back, on the 26th of February to go back to Texas. And yeah, then a couple of days after that, Sherwood starts. So a lot of excitement there. That'll be 8-week straight weekends of fun. I love Sherwood Forest Fair. It is easily one of my favorite fairs. They did so many things right at that fair when they started it, and now it's been, 16 years or so? So yeah, they're not a small fair anymore. Definitely a nice place. So I recommend it. If you haven't been, it's definitely one of those fairs you should check out because it has a lot of good personality to it, and it is a fun fair. It's also a very music-heavy fair. The owners and the entertainment director love music, so it really skews to a lot more music groups than almost any other fair I've ever been to. So that's kind of nice. I might be a little biased, just a little, as a musician, but in general, yes. Well, I know some people don't like the hill. In general, as long as you're not in a rush, you can take it slow, and it's not exactly steep, it's just continual. So you kind of get a cross country kind of CrossFit kind of thing where you go up and down a hill regularly, but just don't rush it. There is a good section that's not very hilly, but if you need to go up the hill, plan ahead and take your time. That's really the rule there. And I've done it so much now. I do the parade and rush up the hill to go to the parade, go down the hill with the parade, rush back up and do it afterwards. I've gotten so used to it. It's not a problem anymore. It's a good test for your health. I'll say that. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Jan and Jim, they tend to go almost every weekend, so that doesn't surprise me. And hey, Janine, thanks for joining. So yes, it's a lovely fair, so very much recommend it. But we've still got a few weeks until then, so not a huge rush. Oh, cool. That's great to hear, Chris. I'm looking forward to it. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Lots of music. So yeah, Greg, they really go crazy with music. Yeah, that's one of the things I like about the fair. I mean, generally fairs, they almost represent the personalities of the owner and the entertainment director a little bit. Their tastes and what they like. They're in a way their kind of whole value system. What kind of acts they prefer, what kind of things entertain them. It's kind of fascinating. But this one, it's definitely music heavy. It's not that they don't like other types of groups necessarily, although they do have preferences. They just love music, and you can tell. So, yeah, I won't complain about that. No, I will not. But this weekend, we have some really cool fair stuff going on. And, well, yeah, me too. I mean, that's why I started going to fair music. That was the main reason I went to fair as a patron back when I was a kid. I just went back and I went to a lot of music shows and went to the music shops, any that were there at the fair. But at that point, it was the Texas Renaissance Festival, and this was back mainly in the '90s. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It was all about the music, and I'd go to Eric the flute maker and get a new bamboo flute almost every year. So yeah. Well, I know, and it's the same thing. We all kind of have our preference, and there's not a right or wrong. I mean, that's the beauty of Fair. There's a lot of different things to see and experience, and if there's one particular thing you like, there's probably a good amount of it that you can fill the day with. But yeah, there's a lot of variety for people that like variety, so that's nice too. Oh yeah, yes, yes. And yeah, variety is good. I totally agree with that. So I'm glad that they're doing something a little different because I think that's a good thing. But this weekend is kind of interesting because it's been a while, but on Saturday it's Valentine's Day at Fair. I know. So yeah, that's kind of wild. I mean, it's been a while. I mean, I was thinking back and I realized that the last time Valentine's Day fell on a weekend was what it fell on a Sunday back in 2021, which 2021 not the best early 2021 not the best time for events. This was just after COVID and things started moving again in 2021, but it was slow. And yeah, so not really much happened in February of 2021. If you go before that, the last time Valentine's Day fell on the weekend, it was Saturday in 2015 and Sunday in 2016. So about 10 years ago. So kind of a big deal. So yeah, I really have to say, it's going to be interesting. I mean, you can lean into it heavily, and the fairs are. A lot of the themes for the fairs this weekend are very much about romance. Oh, shock. But yeah, they're definitely leaning into that. And it is interesting. So we will see. I'll be curious to see how things go with that. Now, of course, it's not just the fact that Saturday is Valentine's Day, because Sunday is, of course, a very nice holiday, one of my favorites personally, and that is Cheap Candy Day. That's right, Cheap Candy Day. Gotta love it. So many good things. I try to mention this every year here on this station because it's a great day to get some wonderful deals on candy. If you like candy, if you want chocolate, if you want the good stuff, or if you just have a hankering for something, once a year or something, this is a good time to do it. It really is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, oh, yes, I agree, Janine. I mean, hey, if you're into the romance thing, Saturday's great. No problem. I mean, it's a good excuse. If you're both into it, hey, it's a good opportunity, use it. But Valentine's Day, let's be honest, it is one of the most commercial holidays we have. Arguably the most, but certainly on the short list. And I have no problem exploiting loopholes when it comes to how they do it commercially. So the day after, for those of you that don't know, there are some strategies for doing this. And how it works is the day after Valentine's Day is they usually put their leftovers that don't sell on Valentine's Day in that aisle or in a special area of the store and mark it down usually about 50%. Which, considering a lot of the candy on Valentine's Day is a little overpriced. Not a lot, but definitely a little. Some of it is actually pretty good quality. They just don't sell a lot of it. It's a small amount of it, but some of it's good quality, and it's a little overpriced. But when you get 50% off, hey, that's actually reasonable to sometimes a good deal, depending on the packaging and what they have. So that's a good time to kind of pick out what you want, what you really want. But the following day, on Monday this week, will be they drop it even more, because the stuff that doesn't sell the day after, whoa, they knock off another 50%, and now it's 75% off the original price. And that's a very good deal. Now, most of the stuff that is really in demand is probably going to sell on Sunday, but Monday, there'll be some stuff left, some individually packed items that, might sell for $1.50 for a marshmallow filled heart kind of thing. That's a decent size, and in a package, and you maybe it'd sell for $1.50. The next day it's 75 cents, and then boo, the day after that it's like 40 cents. And yeah, that's not bad. Get a few of those, and that's a good treat. Now, don't make the rookie mistake and act like you're 10 years old on Halloween. Don't eat it all after you get it and get an upset stomach and really hurt yourself. It's not worth it, trust me. So go ahead, get it, then ration it. Enjoy it. It'll keep. It's not going to spoil in a day. Freeze some if you want and bring it out later. But yeah, I mean, just have one here and there, and it's a way to get your candy on if you really like it. Just a tip, because it is a good opportunity. The three main shaped candy days are the day after Valentine's, the day after Easter, and the day after Halloween. I mean, Christmas to an extent, but Now, the problems I have with Halloween is generally, it's generally not, it's a little overpriced stuff, and they don't put it on sale as much as other ones. Easter and Valentine's Day, they tend to want to get rid of it immediately, and the sales tend to be better. So yeah. Okay, maybe a little bit. I'm not saying I got an upset stomach. Okay, once, but not more than once. I learned from my lesson, so I just wanted to pass that on. Yes, it's good advice. Good advice. So, yeah, but I do think it's there's some good opportunities, so something to check out. So I just thought I would share. So yeah, so I'll I'll let you know how it all goes on my end on next Monday, and I don't know, maybe I'll have some candy to show off. We'll see. I'll go and see this. I'll be in Alabama. My favorite strategy is to try to find the not frequented locations. Grocery stores are usually they have a lot of traffic, and they're really good at selling their leftover candy the next day easily. Sometimes that late that night, because some of them are open late. So not always the best move. I kind of like going to CVS or Walgreens and try to find ones that aren't as frequently traveled. So where I am in Alabama, I'm not in the big city, so I might get lucky here where it's not as much heavy traffic, so I might be able to get some candy that stays for a few days, and it gets really cheap. So we'll see. So, but that's what I would recommend. Try to find a CVS and or Walgreens that's not as busy as some of them are. And if you can find one of each, that they often put them right next to each other. I know it's crazy, but they do that. And in a not very traveled area, go to both. So you can just go one, pop, and then pop in the other and see what's better for you. Because they always don't quite have the same stuff. So that's a good strategy. Yeah, I totally agree. Okay. You're not wrong. You get the specialty stuff. Also, Valentine's Day, maybe it's because of the romance, they tend to have some really good chocolate candies. I mean, it's higher end chocolate. You can get some Ghirardelli and some really cool stuff. So yeah, very true. Very true, Lisa. Yes, always got to do the strategic planning. Mm-hmm. I am Andrew McKee, and I approve this message. So, you just lost audio? Try to refresh it. That's usually the trick. I mean, it looks like it's going well on my end. So, yeah, if anything, if the video or audio ever goes out or has a problem, the best thing is to just refresh. Refresh the app, reload the web page, whatever, and that'll usually take care of it. But yeah, so far I don't see any problems of mine. I haven't even dropped any frames, 0. So yeah, I'm not a single frame in rendering or streaming, which honestly is better than last time. So yeah, I think it's just do a refresh. Sometimes, the internet is not exactly the most stable of things. It's easy to fix itself, but yeah, streaming is a tough one. But that's the best way. It looks like everybody else is doing okay though. Let's see, other things that entered my mind for this week. I'm looking forward to the fairs for this year. One thing that kind of crossed my mind, because I was talking about politics the other week, and things that you normally don't mention politics at a fair, because it's not it's a subject matter that you're representing the fair, so you don't share your own political views, and it's just a lose-lose. It's not a good place for that. You're there to entertain, and we talked a bit about that. And I realized something over the last year. Every fair, I think almost every fair I've been to, has had a directive at morning meeting for what happens if ICE shows up at the fair. I mean, this goes back through last year, earlier in the year. This was a thing going on. It was a big deal of at the morning meeting for all the performers and actors and cast and everything. Here's what you do. It's an interesting turn of events that I just thought I would share and say it's kind of interesting that's become more of a standard thing to go on. And you'd think, okay, yeah, maybe it's more of a liberal response. No, the conservative fairs too. All of them seem to have a stance on this, and it's pretty consistent. So I found that kind of interesting. Just the world we live in, I guess. So, yeah, just a thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about, I guess the upcoming fairs, because it's already after 7:20. Let's jump into the fair map, because not many fairs are going on, and it is an interesting grouping. So yeah, let's jump right in and see, and get out the, yay! Oh yeah, I get the, love the laser pointer. So I struggled a little with what to call a Ren fair this weekend, because there are some fairs that are borderline for me, and I've talked to you about this before, but here's one up in Phillipstown, Massachusetts. And this is the Norfolk Night Market, a winter festival. It's a Viking festival, and it is it's definitely partly indoors, and it's just a 3-day weekend, Friday through Sunday, and it's its second year doing it. But Viking festivals in the north, I totally get it. You go with what you can, and part of it is indoors. Totally get that. So yeah, normal Viking festival. But then we jump over to Pennsylvania and Gettysburg, and you have Mythicon. Now, like the name describes, it's actually a convention. It's a con. They don't say they're a fair. It's a Fae themed convention, and it's held at a convention center. And it's formatted a lot like a convention, with workshops and different discussions and panels and that kind of thing about Fae lore and culture and all of that. To me, it almost is like a convention and not a fair, so I was hesitant to include it. But then I thought, hey, again, it's in February in Pennsylvania. Having it indoors makes total sense. And I did it. So yeah, okay. I'm putting it in and saying especially with some of the outfits that the Fae wear, I don't begrudge them doing it all indoors. And if you're already indoors, going with more of a convention format also makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of where I've drawn the line a little bit, and thinking this kind of works for me. Then we jump down to, you'll notice a little ship down here, a little cruise ship. because the Ren Cruise is taking off. Now, for those of you that are familiar, the Ren Cruise started in 2019 and has been going on, and it sails out of Port Canaveral, Florida. And it leaves on Sunday and then goes for a week. And it goes to some cool places, and some different Ren Faire groups perform on the cruise. And it's an interesting concept, so much so that another group, I think last year, started another cruise, and it goes out of like Miami a week before. So a week ago, it's coming back actually on Sunday and finishing up. So they're trying to do the equivalent of the Price is Right thing, where somebody does a bid and you do $1 more. They tried to go 1 week earlier and do it, but it doesn't quite go to as glamorous a place, and it's the performers, a lot fewer performers. It's not quite as large. So I don't know. I think that this one has been going on longer and is certainly more established. And I know some of the performers on this one and ones that have been performing on it in the last several years. I cruise on a pirate ship. I have to actually agree with that. I think that's that would be awesome. Except I will say, pirate ships, not the most relaxing as far as places to sleep and all of that. That's an experience I wouldn't want for more than a day. Spending a week on a pirate ship, I don't think so. So I'll leave that to you if that's your thing. I'll take. I think the cruise ship would be better. If it was a cruise ship that looks like a pirate ship, maybe. But I think that would take theming a little far and would be pretty expensive. But hey, they've done weirder. Jumping over to Florida, we go to the Bay Area Renaissance Festival. Now, there are a lot of festivals in Florida now. Florida is one of the most festival-heavy states. But this one's one of the oldest. It is started in 1979, and it goes on for 7 weekends. This will be the first weekend in Dade City, Florida. And the theme for the first weekend is, of course, wine, chocolate, and romance. Really leaning into that Valentine's Day thing. So, yes. So, yeah. But then jumping down south of Miami, we have the Florida Renaissance Festival, Deerfield Beach. And that's 8 weekends long. This is going to be the second weekend. And of course, their theme, of course, it is Cupid's Lullaby, pulling at the harp strings. So leading into that romance theme as well. Then all we have left is jumping over to Arizona, where they have the Arizona Renaissance Festival, and that's going on for the third weekend. Yeah, that'll be the third weekend of the Arizona Renaissance Fest in Apache Junction. So yeah, not too much going on right now. We're in a little bit of a lull, but yeah, it's. It is what it is. It'll really start to pick up in a few weeks and really start hitting it strong in March. March is when a bunch of fairs kind of start. February has always been sort of an off month because, I don't know, it tends to get some really bad winter storms in February, but they're never sure when in February it's going to happen. So it's always been a point of concern. But hey, that's what it is. So, but yeah, that's I've had people tell me I should probably try to do one of the cruise ships, the Ren Faire cruise ships, and perform on that. And I've known people who did, and the response was actually very positive. From the performer's perspective, I mean, patrons, I haven't really heard much, but from performer's perspective, they said, yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't bad at all. The work wasn't very hard, and they they got paid fairly well, and it was enjoyable. So I assume, based on that, that the people that go on it enjoy it too. But yeah, I don't know. It might be something I should look into, because February, I tend to have a little time in February. So I'm definitely going to be trying to do Faire of Champions next year, and that ends the beginning of February. So the timing might actually work. So maybe I should look at that. Yeah, literally a captive audience. They can't leave. They can't go very far from you. So there is that bonus. So I like that. But no, I mean, generally, my understanding is you do one, maybe two shows a night, and you're done. That's it. Compared to regular Faire use, it's not that bad. Sometimes they have stuff they do during the day that you might have to be a part of. But it just depends on what your show is as to how they book you. Yes, you're right. I know some performers who've done those too, and they've done well. I don't know. For me, I don't know. I haven't leaned too heavily into the Irish festival performer route. I mean, even though I do lean into it at Ren fairs, but going to the Irish festivals, I haven't really been pushing too much. Partly because a lot of them are only one weekend. And with Ren fairs, it's block booking. And usually you get 2, 3, sometimes 8 weekends in a row. And that really, it's a lot easier to fill up your schedule. So, but when you do that, normally they encompass some of the popular weekends for Irish festivals too. So it's kind of one of those things. That's kind of why I've avoided it. I don't know. It might be something I should work at and look at a little more, because I am getting to that point where it would probably be a lot of fun, and could sell a lot of CDs. I don't know. Be worth a shot. But yeah, I haven't done one of those in a little while, so I probably should look at that. And a cruise might be a way to do it. But yeah, no, I something to look at. So I don't know. If I was to do a cruise, would any of you be interested in going? Actually, that's a good question. I mean, hanging out and doing the cruise thing for a week? I don't know. I've actually never been on a cruise. I've had people ask me about it, and it just, the timing never really worked out. I don't know. Is that something that would interest you? I'm not sure. It might be fun. Well, I'll take a look. I'll take a look for next year. I know some people going on this year's, and I'll talk to them. And I know some people who were on last year's, so I'll talk to them and kind of gauge it again and see. But yeah, it might be worth contacting them and see. I don't know if you're into that sort of thing. But we'll see. And I guess that's, it's already 7:34. I'm going to go ahead and call it there and say, I'll get back with you next week, and we will compare notes as far as how Cheap Candy Day worked for all of us. So, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, the thing for me is a lot of the things people would enjoy on the cruises never really appealed to me either. So I don't know. I mean, I guess depends on where it stops, because sometimes you go on a cruise and you stop into some pretty cool ports and, go to the Bahamas and see some stuff, or, it just depends on where it goes for me. If it's interesting location wise, maybe. I mean, but generally it's going to be pretty touristy. So they're going to stop, and, you're only going to have so much time, and it's going to be essentially a lot of tourist traps. So I don't know. I'm still I'll think about that. Yeah, if you're not a fan of water, that could be a problem. Oh yeah, now that I have thought of, Dan, that I have thought of, and doing something along those lines. And the European thing, yeah, I'm really running out of excuses to do a European trek for a few months, because I've got so many friends living in Europe right now. I would have places to stay. So I really need to do that at some point. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Although, depending on the type of cruise, sometimes they have a lot of activities and stuff for kids. So it just depends. Some cruises are more for adults, some are for families, some are geared a lot towards kids. And don't forget the Disney cruises and all of that. I mean, they do cater sometimes to it. So you just have to check. Yeah. But something to think about. Well, I'll keep brainstorming, you keep brainstorming, and we'll get back and talk about it. But it is definitely something interesting, and I haven't dropped a single frame on stream or on encoding. I'm feeling good. Oh, you would want that chop. Oh, I see. Yes. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Um, yeah, and I mean, I can play music and entertain kids a little bit. I don't concentrate on it, and I've been very careful not to because I know if I do, that's what everybody will want me for. Because once you get known as a children's musician, they don't have enough children's musicians, so they will totally grab you for that, and pretty soon you'll be you'll be typecasted for that, and it'll be hard to get anything else. They'll always say, "Oh yeah, we need a children's musician, and you've done that before. Here, we'll hire you for that." "Oh, I've actually want to do adult thing." "Oh, well, we really just want you for children." I mean, and that'll get in their that'll get in their mind, and there's not an easy way to do it. I can't entertain kids, and I don't tend to go very body stuff too often, so it works, but yeah, I've tried to avoid concentrating on that. Exactly. Exactly. That is very true. Yeah, Celtic Music Cruise. Yeah, I've definitely had some friends who did that, and it's generally most of the time I've heard those are pretty good, at least for the performers. So yeah, again, I haven't heard much feedback from people who just went to enjoy it. Who most of what I've heard has been from performers. So yeah, I assume you liked it, but yeah. Yeah, but anyway, before it gets too late, I will call it there, and we'll talk. Um, we'll talk next week, and I'll show you what candy I got, and hopefully you'll show me what candy you got. Let me know. Hopefully it was good stuff, and have a good Valentine's Day. Have a good week, and and as always, have a fair life. Take care.